So, something happened the other day that really shook me. I was scrolling through my Instagram feed the other day and I saw this comment. There was a comment from someone who was doubting not just my accounting, but almost my integrity. And it kind of shook me a bit. If you saw my Chicken Coop A-Frame build, there was one little detail about that I was extremely proud of, and that was the cost. The whole structure cost me less than $10 to make, which is less than what it costs to get, just like a half decent lunch these days. But that was surprising to some people, and it really triggered some people in ways I wasn't expecting. But it got me thinking, the reason it was so surprising, it comes down to a lack of understanding, because there's something about me you should know. Oh, this is really hard to say, but here goes. I'm a financial minimalist. Wow, that feels really good to say out loud. So what exactly does that mean, a financial minimalist? It means we live our lives with a level of frugality that reduces our spending to the absolute minimum, which instead frees up time for us to spend with family, spend with friends, and to spend pursuing creative projects that are meaningful to us. And every financial decision we make, it has to answer to these criteria. Do I need this? Is this something I truly need to be happy? Keeping in mind, of course, the differences between wants and needs. Is this something I can borrow, perhaps from a friend or from the library? Is it something I can get secondhand? Or is it something I could even get for free if I'm patient enough? Is there an alternative I could use instead of this thing? And lastly, how does this align with my beliefs in terms of environmental sustainability, consumerism, waste production and reduction? How does this fit into that? Is it something that's going to end up in a landfill in a couple months, or is it something that's going to be around for a long time? It's a framework we've designed to reduce our spending to the bare minimum, which really frees up time to spend doing whatever we want. Okay, let me rewind a bit. So just a couple of years ago, we were living a very maximalist life. We were online entrepreneurs with a healthy income and a very healthy spend rate to match. Frequent international trips to Japan, Portugal, Thailand, Bali, these were the norm. And sitting in the driveway was a brand new Mercedes Sprinter because, van life. But for the majority of the week, we weren't out doing the things we wanted to do. We were sitting in front of our computers, stuck indoors, and so were our kids as they were shipped off to daycare, where someone else could teach them manners and respect and how to read and write. But as we carried on like this, we started asking some questions, and these questions are real. If we stop outsourcing the raising of our kids to someone else, if we stop spending our money on junk, if we stop trading our time for money, what are we left with? Our time. We embarked on a journey to truly simplify our possessions, our finances, and our lives. Goodbye van, goodbye things, goodbye unnecessary spending. In its place, we welcomed a life full of quality time together. Outdoor adventures, hikes, time at the beach, appreciating home-cooked meals and homegrown food, celebrating secondhand and handmade instead of shiny and new. Not to mention the fulfillment of doing things ourselves. Hello minimalism, hello simplicity, goodbye work. Okay, cool story, but what does this have to do with the chicken coop? So, for the past year, I've been really focused on raising our own food, and that's come in the form of a veggie garden and fruit trees. We have laying hens and quails for eggs, meat rabbits, and of course, we have meat chickens, which the A-Frame was built to house. Now, the motivation for raising and producing our own food is many. There's the obvious health benefit, not to mention the environmental impact of eliminating all the energy and materials required to process, pack, and ship food to our small island home. There's the knowledge and satisfaction of knowing that everything we ate was ethically raised and treated with respect for its entire life. We know where our food came from. And there's also the cost. We want the food that we raise and grow to cost at least on par with food that you're gonna get from the grocery store. So if I'm gonna go and spend multi-thousands of dollars on a chicken coop, well, you can believe that just don't add up. So instead of rushing out, dropping a couple G's at the hardware store, I instead spent a lot of time. I spent time on the classified ads, tracking down building materials that were being scrapped. I talked to friends, and I even helped out a lot of people who were maybe moving, selling their home for some reason that had a lot of accumulation that they needed to deal with. Over time, I was able to accumulate everything I needed to construct my chicken coop. So we've got free materials, we've got spending time instead of money, and we're helping out our community in mutually beneficial transactions. Well, all of this sounds like textbook financial minimalism to me. So now circling back to that Instagram comment, well, I think where that came from was a place of misunderstanding. I've hinted in a lot of my videos about the importance to me of keeping costs low, of using salvaged and reclaimed materials, but I've never just come out and talk about it. And as I sit here and as I think about this, financial minimalism is something that's important to me. It's very important. And the fact of the matter is, I'm cheap!